to a potential shutdown. Let's discuss with Republican Congressman Carlos Gimenez of Florida. Congressman, thanks for sharing part of your afternoon with us. Let's start with that stopgap bill in the Senate. McCarthy says it doesn't have enough support in the House. It doesn't appear that he has a lot of options, though, to avert a shutdown. Should he reconsider and put it on the floor of the House?
Well, I don't think, look, it may be that it will come to the House floor regardless of what the Speaker wants. But at the end of the day, what we need to do is, look, 98% of the Republican conference wants to pass a funding resolution that will control the southern border and reduce government spending by about 8% and give us the time that we need in order to continue with regular order and pass the appropriation bills that we need to pass. We should be passing 4 or 5 of those this week, and then I would hope that we can reason with the 4 or 5 Republicans that right now are saying they won't pass a funding resolution, which by the way are going to be joined by 210 Democrats to vote against the funding resolution. Look, I think there's still some time to work this out. Hopefully we will. But if it doesn't happen, remember, it's 210 Democrats voting no, along with 4 or 5 Republicans. The vast majority of Republicans don't want to see a government shutdown.
Yeah, the math is very difficult to get it passed, though, because of those 4 or 5 Republicans. You mentioned Democrats voting no. McCarthy potentially could iron out a deal with them, right? But the risk is that he would lose the speakership. So how real is that risk?
Look, at the end of the day, I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think the Democrats want to see a shutdown either, the vast majority of them. So we need some of them to cross over. Our proposal is sound. Our proposal is what the American people want. Our proposal is what 98% of the Republican conference wants. So we need to get this done one way or another.
Yeah, it could ultimately cost McCarthy his job, though. I do want to ask you about the 8,000 federal civilian employees in your district that might miss a paycheck if there is a shutdown. What's your message to those constituents?
That's the last thing that I want. Again, I'm joining 98% of my conference. We do not want a government shutdown. And the other thing, too, is that I'll tell them is that if indeed there is a government shutdown and they don't get their paychecks, I won't get my paycheck either, because that's just the right thing to do. So I'm going to write a letter to our folks here saying I will not accept and I do not want to be paid while we are in a government shutdown, because I need to suffer just as much as every other federal employee needs to, or doesn't need to, but will.
Congressman, while we have you, a fellow Cuban-American member of Congress, Democratic Senator Bob Menendez, has been indicted on bribery charges, as you well know. 30 senators in his own party have called on him to resign. Do you think he should?
Look, there's always a presumption of innocence, but this seems to be pretty overwhelming, what they found at his house. Close to $500,000 stuffed into his coat pockets, gold bars, Mercedes, all kinds of stuff, text messages. And so, yeah, I think maybe the senator needs to reconsider with the overwhelming evidence against him. But again, it's up to him, and you're presumed innocence until proven guilty. So I kind of joined the chorus and said, yeah, this is overwhelming, and you probably need to step aside and then let somebody else represent the people's interests of New Jersey.
With that same sentiment in mind, Congressman, one of your colleagues in the House, George Santos, is facing federal criminal charges for, among other things, stealing public funds, and there is compelling evidence there. Should he resign?
I'm not sure that the evidence against him is as compelling. Again, it's up to him. He's presumed innocent until proven guilty. Again, the evidence that I've seen against the senator is pretty overwhelming.
But you don't think Santos, given his track record of what appear to be outright lies, should consider resignation?
Well, he should, absolutely should consider it, but that, again, it's up to him, just like it is to Senator Menendez. Again, I'm going to say one more time, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. They're both under indictment. Senator Menendez's indictment seems to be pretty serious, and the allegations and what they found are pretty serious, so it's a little bit different case.
Congressman, while we have you, I also wanted to get your thoughts on the release of this Army Private Travis King from North Korea. You're a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. What do you make of his release? This is very rare.
Well, actually, I don't. This is the first I've heard of the release, and so I don't have the details. So I really couldn't. I'd be disingenuous if I had a reaction to it. I'm glad that one of our privates got released by North Korea. I'm wondering if there was a price to pay, because the Biden administration has this proclivity to pay an exorbitant price for the release of American hostages, like in Iran and maybe in Russia. Since I don't know what the price was, I'm really not going to comment, but I'm happy that the private is back in American hands.